Have you ever been to an airport and felt a little confused? So many people, so many signs, check-in counters, security, gates, and everyone seems to know what they are doing. What do those strange airport words actually mean? Like boarding pass, check-in, or gate? What's the difference between luggage and carry-on? And what about those stressful announcements like final call and delayed?
Passengers for flight GA642 to Rome, please go to gate 26.
In today's episode, we are going to build the foundation. We will master the 20 most essential words you need to see, hear, and understand to get through the airport like your confident pro. I'll explain every new word slowly and clearly, giving you the context you need. So, if you're ready, let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Brandon, and welcome to Ravand English Podcast. This is a place where we learn real English for real life. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something that happens to almost everyone at some point. Going to the airport. Okay, when it comes to airports, there are a few very useful words and expressions we need to know. And by the way, did you notice what I just said? When it comes to. What does that mean? It means when we talk about or when we think about something. For example, when it comes to food, I love Italian. Or when it comes to cooking, my mom is the best. So, when it comes to airports, there are a few very useful words we need to know. Let's go over them, starting with word number 1, check-in. But before that, did you notice what I said? Go over then? Do you know what that means? It means to review or discuss something carefully. All right, now let's move on to our first word, check-in. The first word is check-in. It's a phrasal verb, and it means to register for your flight. So imagine you arrive at the airport. You go to the counter and you say, "Hello, I'd like to check in for my flight to London." I say it again. "Hello, I'd like to check in for my flight to London." Another example, we must check in an hour early. All right, let's go to the next word, self-checking kiosk. The self-checking kiosk is a machine at the airport that allows you to print your boarding pass and sometimes your luggage tags without speaking to an agent. So you might say, the line for the agent is long. Let's use the self-checking kiosk. I say it again. The line for the agent is long. Let's use the self-checking kiosk. Now that you have checked in, the next word you'll get is the boarding pass. A boarding pass is the small paper or digital card that lets you go onto the plane. Notice that I did not say into the plane. I said onto the plane. So, a boarding pass is the small paper or a digital card that lets you go onto the plane. Onto the plane. For example, you can say, "Can I have my boarding pass, please?" The next word we might need to come across is luggage. Do you know what does come across mean? Come across is a phrasal verb, means to meet, find, or encounter something by chance. So I repeat that again. The next word we might need to come across is luggage. Your luggage is your bag or suitcase. Sometimes we say baggage. They mean the same thing. For example, my luggage is very heavy. Crucial grammar note. Remember, my friends, luggage is an uncountable word. Please do not say luggages. Never say that, okay? It is simply luggage, no matter if you have one piece or three. It is always just luggage. The next word is also about bags. Carry on. Carry on. This refers to the small bag you are allowed to take onto the plane with you, as opposed to the checked luggage you won't see again until you arrive. You might say, "I only have a small carry-on, so I can use the online check-in." From the terminal, you'll follow signs to departures. This is the main hall or area where passengers go to check in and board their flights. It is the opposite of arrivals. You might say, "The taxi dropped us off right at the departures entrance." The taxi dropped us off right at the departures entrance. Drop off means to take someone or something to a place and leave them there. Okay, let's talk about the opposite. Arrivals. This is the area of the airport where people exit the plane, collect their luggage, and meet people picking them up. So, at arrivals, people exit the plane. Do you know the correct way to pronounce exit? Should it have a Z sound or an S sound? Both are correct. You can pronounce exit either way. So, exit and exit. As an example, you might hear, "Welcome to London Heathrow. Please follow the signs for arrivals." The next word is shuttle or airport shuttle. The airport shuttle is a bus or van that runs constantly to take passengers between the different terminals, the parking lot, or offsite hotels. I use the term offsite hotels. Have you ever heard of it before? Have you ever heard of it before? Offsite hotels refers to hotels that are not located within the airport area. So you might hear, "The airport shuttle to Terminal C arrives every 15 minutes. The airport shuttle to Terminal C arrives every 15 minutes. All right, the next word you look for is the gate. The gate is the specific door or area where passengers wait to board the plane. You might see Flight 305 to Paris, Gate 15. After you pass through security and before you go to your gate, you wait in the departure lounge. This is the general waiting area, often with shops and restaurants. You may hear the mixed announcement will be made in the departure lounge at 10:30 a.m. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what status is? Let me explain it for you. Airport status is a simple way of saying what's happening with this specific flight right now. You can check this on screens at the airport, on airline websites, or using flight tracking apps. Common statuses include on time, delayed, boarding, departed, arrived, canceled. Our next word is security. Before you get to your gate, you must go through security. This is the area where airport staff screen you and your carry-on bags for dangerous items. You might say, "We need to go through security now," or "We'll be late." We need to go through security now, or "We'll be late." Duty-free. This refers to shopping areas inside the international section of the airport where you can buy certain goods like perfume or alcohol without paying local tax. For example, you might say, "I need to buy some gifts from the duty-free shop before boarding." All right, let's go to the next word, which is customs. Right after baggage claim, you'll go through customs. This is where government officials check what goods and money you are bringing into the country. I repeat that again. This is where government officials check what goods and money you are bringing into the country. You may hear, "Do you have anything to declare at customs?" The word declare means to make something known in a clear, official, or public way. When you travel internationally, you must declare certain items like expensive goods, tobacco, or alcohol that you are bringing into the country. All right, my friends, after you land, you go to baggage claim. This is the area where you go to collect your checked luggage. You might hear, "Please proceed to baggage claim for your luggage." Please proceed to baggage claim for your luggage. Please proceed to baggage claim for your luggage. Lost and found. The lost and found is an office or counter at the airport where you report missing items or look for things others have lost. So when you lose something, where do you go? You go to lost and found office or counter, right? For example, I think I left my jacket at security. I need to check the lost and found office. Make sure you say lost and found, not found and lost. Okay? Connecting flight. Now, what if your trip is not direct? You will have a connecting flight, my friends. This means you must take a second plane to reach your final destination. Destination is the place you want to go to. So let's say you want to fly from Dallas, Texas to Geneva, Switzerland. There are no direct non-stop flights that make that journey. So you'll need to book a flight with a layover or connection, right? You might ask, where do I go to find my connecting flight? Layover. The time you spend waiting between your two connecting flights is called a layover. For example, my layover in Dubai is only 2 hours, so I have to hurry. Now, let me ask you this question. Who helps you on the plane? The cabin crew. These are the flight attendants, the staff who work inside the plane to help you and keep you safe. Cabin crew. You might ask the cabin crew, "Excuse me, could I have a bottle of water, please?" I want to ask you to say it with me. Let's go. Excuse me, could I have a bottle of water, please? Can you say that a little faster? Let's go. Excuse me, could I have a bottle of water, please? Aisle seat or window seat? Which seat did you get? The aisle seat is the one next to the walkway. The window seat is the one next to the window. You might say, I prefer the window seat so I can see the landing. And let's go to the last word, which is overhead bin. Where do you put your carry-on? In the overhead bin, right? These are the closed storage compartments above the seats. You might hear the cabin crew say, please place your smaller bags under the seat in front of you and your larger carry-on bags in the overhead bin. So we have successfully mastered the 20 most essential airport words. You now have the full vocabulary foundation to read the signs, understand the announcements, feel confident about what's happening around you. This is a huge step in airport confidence. Now that you know all these words, the next logical step is learning how to put them into smooth, natural questions and sentences, right? For example, what do you actually say to the check-in agent? That is exactly what we'll cover in the next episode. We'll be focusing on the most important essential sentences and questions you need to use, from confirming your flight to asking for help in an emergency. Thank you for joining me today on Ravand English Podcast. And until next time, keep learning and safe travels, my friends.